Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, Play Your Part is a nationwide initiative created to inspire, empower, and celebrate active citizenship in South Africa. It aims to lift the spirit of our nation by inspiring all those who contribute to positive change, become involved, and start doing. A group of young people have taken it upon themselves to clean up parks in and around the Soweto Township. Youth advocate Terrence Langa Hlatywayo joins us now to speak more about the work they do at the cleanup campaign Play Your Part corporate community outreach program. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Oslewu, and to your viewers at home.
Thank you so much for coming. I mean, talk to us about how did you get involved in the Play Your Part corporate community outreach program? How did it come about?
Initially, the program was started in 2018 when we had a Global Citizen and in partnership with Old Mutual and the Mtsipe Foundation. And what was done was to inspire young people to partake in the program, and what then the benefit would be for them to get tickets. So we then identified a dump site which is located on the outline of Mzimhlope by the Car Street and Soweto Highway. And when we started, it just ignited the whole program to revamp all these dump sites into good spaces for community to use. And from 2018, we never looked back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does it work? How do you source these youths?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's quite important because this is where now it touches on the issue of the local leadership. So in particular, for the community of Mzimhlope, Zone 11 Meadowlands, and also I saw one person ask what is Zone 11 Meadowlands is the former hostel of Mzimhlope. Yes. So we then interact with the leadership there. So you still have what you call traditional authorities in Duna. And then through also the political office of the councillor there or the PR councillor there, which in this instance would be Mr. Zulele Dlamini. So we then spoke to them and presented this program to them to say, look, this is what we want to do for the community. We want to clean up all these dump sites so that we could be able to take care of the environment. And the spaces that we identified are on the outline. So when you go to town and when you enter Meadowlands, this is the first thing you see. So you want to be able to give a clean representation of the community. So then in Duna, together with the other leaders in the area, went out to inform the community that this is what will be happening and like for them to partake in the initiative. Yeah.
And what does it look like now? That space that you're talking about between Hostel Mzimhlope, it's obviously on the right, going towards Meadowlands. And for as long, I can tell you now, I grew up in Meadowlands, so I know that space that you're talking about. Awesome. And for as long as I can remember, that space was dirty, was filthy, driving to Meadowlands, towards Meadowlands. What does it look like right now? Is it clean?
Yeah, you see, I'm smiling when you ask me this question, right? So interestingly, with one particular dump site that we identified, it has been transformed into a church. So they're going to use that space for a church.
Right.
Okay? And then when I was at the reception area signing in, one guy comes and then he is a security guard. Uzuma, and I look at this guy and everyone says, "I'm Shuluz." And I look at this man, I'm like, but I saw you on Saturday. Yeah. So one of your colleagues has taken over that dump site, and they're opening a church on it, right? And then the other dump site that we had done in 2018 with the Old Mutual, it's going to now, it's actually being used as a park where the local guys use it to they wash cars there, but sometimes they chill around it. Though we still need to transform and make these spaces work, to the benefit of the community. Hence, then we extend the invitation to other stakeholders to say, look, we need the skip bins. We need you to come and take advantage of the space that is available, so they can have a proper play area for the kids in the area, yeah.
Now, let's talk about why these illegal dumping sites are such a hazard to communities.
I'll touch a very sensitive issue around it. Illegal residents that we have, backroom dwellers as well. So overpopulation in the townships is a challenge. The issues that we have with waste management, not being able to be consistent to collect the trash in the community, in particular in the area of Zone 11 Meadowlands, that then contributes to that. But there isn't a specific dump area that is specifically designed for that community to say, this is where you can go and discard of your trash. So these backroom dwellers and those that live in the shacks, because they have no other space to go and discard of their trash, whatever open space they find, they go and discard there. And then now also the need for a skip bin is quite urgent, because the lack of it there also motivates for the people to just throw all next to the outline again that we recently cleaned. There's still that thing that says, no, we want to go and help us find a different space then. So we then identified that, again, street hawkers or vendors, they too contribute to all this illegal dumping, you know. So we still need to enforce education around it. We still need the buy-in from the municipality to come and say, look, this is what we'll start doing consistently. Even we'll provide refuse bags. We'll again, that's another issue with the division that exists in Mzimhlophe, where, you know, there's one area called Elokshini and the one area that is Hostela, where the hostel area does not have rubbish bins. And then, but Elokshini, you do have pick it up. You do have people that have these big black bins. So that too contributes to that unfortunate situation. It motivates even for illegal dumping, which is a serious issue in our society. Yeah.
How long do you think you're going to have this project for, and how sustainable is it over the long term?
Would love to have it as a legacy project. It should be a lifetime program that it's taken over, not only by ourselves as an organization, but the society as a whole. Currently, with the initiative that we're currently running, the aim is to have it as a national program, right? And now this then in partnership with organizations such as the National Youth Development Agency through the NYS, Brand South Africa, and other stakeholders that we have on board, STA. So we're planning to have it, for now, to become a yearly program, and then spread out across all provinces, but ensure that with all the support that we get from all stakeholders, you know, it's sustainable, because we don't want it to be a once-off initiative. Also, which then gives me an opportunity to speak about the Love Your City, Clean Your City initiative that has been pronounced on by the Premier of Gauteng, Premier Bangazali Sufi, and the Office of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, to say, now let's extend this to clean the city of Johannesburg. So they've identified Westgate, Ngomaimai, but it's also going to come back to Mzimhlophe. There's an area called Etlip Town.
Yes.
So we still want to propose and present that to the leadership to say, let's work together in this. But you want communities to adopt this program. You want them to own it and run with it, so that, like I said, it does not become a once-off initiative. And notably with what the NYDA has presented to us through Ms. Kidwon Masuku and Ms. Posha Mawoya, who have been quite instrumental in the development of this initiative as well, is that they wanted to expand and identify other young people that could partake in this initiative linked to the NYDA and the NYS. So it will be sustainable, but we also want a buy-in from the National Department of Rural Development and Agriculture to come on board and provide us with the necessary equipment and tools, so that when we go and clean in Breads in Okasi, if the community says they need a park there, we know that the equipment will be made available, and that is how we can be able to address this issue of illegal dumping. Yeah.
How do we begin to have an initiative like that in the Joburg CBD, for instance? The moment you talk about clean up, my mind then just runs to North Street and how filthy it is at the moment, how the CBD is just dirty. How do we get the youth involved in something like that?
Okay.
How do we move it in that direction?
All right. One, I'll respond to first the question of how you get the youth involved. So I'll then go back to the partnership, the healthy partnership that we have with the leadership of Mzimhlophe. So there's a group that is called Okaki, and there's about 61 of them with the support of the traditional leadership there. So we then, through also the leader, Mr. Stulele Dlamini, we make a request for them to partake in this initiative, because already this is what they do in the community of Mzimhlophe. And then we then speak to other youth-led organizations to say, look, this is what we have. We'd like for you to form part of this. Do join in the program, making them understand that this is to the benefit of the city to be clean, even in their own communities. So we use that system to lobby young people to come on board. Furthermore, we then have created a system that benefits the young people again. Hence, it was strategic to have the NYDA on board, because what we have then done is to marry the program with skills development programs, entrepreneurship development programs, like the recent cleanup campaign that we had, we did not only have young people clean.
Okay.
So post the cleanup campaign, the young people were advised to, bring their CVs. And through Mr. Philip Indala of the Johannesburg branch of the NYDA, he was there and he spoke about the job preparedness programs of the NYDA and how young people could benefit of their programs, but also encouraging for them to not be job seekers, but be creators of employment. So that is what would then draw these young people to come on board. You then have Coca-Cola, which is Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa, through Ms. Georgette Naidu. And she too was able to then, spread out the message that what they do is support these kind of initiatives that are run by the youth. Oh, by the way, I'm no longer youth.
Yeah.
By the 18th of April, I'm out of that category. But
what is the cutoff, by the way?
It's 35, from 35,
okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
16 to 35.
Yeah.
So what they were then able to communicate to the young people to say, look, keep doing this, and whenever you need a partnership with ourselves as CCPSA, they'll come on board, and they only, which I like, they only target townships, they don't go to the CBD. So now, in responding now to the question of how do we keep and maintain the CBD to be clean, it's going to be a challenge, obviously, because the Johannesburg is overpopulated. It's messy, but I'm hoping that it becomes a sustainable program, and I pray and hope that the Premier, Banyaza Yusufi, together with his team in the office, they do not politicize this. We have seen what the EFF has been doing, and they said they'll be doing a cleanup campaign every Saturday, which is quite commendable. And then we also do not want this to be a once-off thing. We don't want it to be a political thing. It should be to the benefit of the community. It should be to the benefit of our city.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that, still, I'd say, to the Premier and his collective, that we ensure that we get more other organizations on board, and we do not politicize it and give it to the people.
All right.
Yeah.
TT, thank you so much for talking to us. Terrence, he's a youth advocate. Terrence TT Langa Hlatywayo is speaking to us about the work they do at the cleanup campaign, Play Your Part Corporate Community Outreach Program.